Hey there, good morning, fellas. How are you doing on a great Thursday morning? I hope you're doing well. I hope your day's off to a good start. Appreciate you finding time to hang out with us here on Winning Bets, where we get to talk our sports and talk our sports betting. Starting to feel a little bit of Groundhog Day-ish here in Chicago. 4 days this week, and it's rained all 4 days. So hopefully we can see that sun tomorrow. That would certainly put a smile up on everybody's face here. All right, let's go ahead and get on into the recap yesterday, and then we'll dive on into today's action, which will include Matt joining us here because we've got 10 games in the Premier League that we need to go ahead and preview and bet, and we'll do so with Matt here very shortly. All right, go ahead and throw that recap where been a while. It's been an awfully while since we've been unable to go ahead and ring that cash register. And unfortunately, we're not going to go ahead and ring it today. We get tripped up, of course, with Man City versus Aston Villa under 3.5 goals. I think Phil Foden took that one a little personal. And he said, I got you under 3.5 right here, man. Excuse me. Really could have been obviously a different game, had that game get put in 1-1 at halftime. But, the number one rule when you're on the wall is you don't want to make yourself small. If anything, now you don't want to make yourself as big as possible by, extending your arms and getting a handball, but you don't want to make yourself small. That's like shit, pee-wee. Like you learned that at the lowest of all levels. You don't want to make yourself small. So he turns his body to make himself small, and Phil Foden just happens to hit it right at that spot. Like, maybe he does that all the time, and that's just good film work by, Man City. I don't know, but, a brutal mistake by that guy. You can't turn your body and make yourself small right there. Obviously, that gets it 2-1, and you're on the hook at halftime, and then Phil Foden just keeps scoring there in the second half. So we do get tripped up there on that one. Rangers on the money line, though, they go ahead and come through for us, and Rangers on the money line makes it so we can continue putting money in our pocket via baseball. So overall, losing day, but baseball, we turned just a little bit of profit, and that profit certainly adds up. Rangers get it done. We added in some runs in the ninth inning, and they certainly needed to as they gave up one run in the ninth inning. They pick up the win 4-1. Red Sox go ahead and pull out the 1-0 win over the Athletics, but the Pirates get tripped up against the Nationals, losing that game 5-3. Just one bad inning there by Mitch Keller. He gave up 4 runs. They were all given up in the second inning. That happens. That's baseball sometimes. The pitcher is going to lose it for an inning, and it can obviously cost you the game, and it cost them the game there in that spot. And Tigers on the money line, of course, that game gets rained out. So what was that? 1-2 on the day, down a little bit, but still very much profitable in the week. The arbitrage there, I get a little bit of a chuckle out of that one, because we, of course, make some arbitrage, right? Couple opportunities to put free money. But then we spent $5 yesterday because ESPN Bet had a promo of try and predict who's going to be the first scorer in the game, win or lose. We'll give you a $5 free bet back. So obviously those are our scenarios when we like to lose arbitrage cash, right? Give us 2 cracks at the apple. Well, we put in a bet for Damian Lillard to be the first goal scorer. Then Damian Lillard doesn't play, so they void the bet. Sure, you're going to void the bet. So you're going to go ahead and get your $5 back. They still gave us the $5 free bet. So that still makes me laugh this morning. I thought for sure, damn, missed out on an opportunity to scoop up, a free bet, use some cash, get a free bet. No, they give us the $5 back and give us a $5 free bet. So you love to see that right there. And then, of course, down on the bottom does mention we did, again, turn a little bit of profit. 0.02, if you want to be exact, is what we were able to scrape across in the MLB. I'll go ahead and take that and add it to the total, up over 5 units now in the MLB season. That's 1 week of baseball done. Will we be making 5 units every week? Well, realistically, probably not, but like to keep the good times rolling and see if we can add another 5 units or more on this week, and that'll certainly be the goal. All right, let's head on down to that comment section, see what Thursday is doing to you guys, and then again, we'll be joined by Matt in about 10 minutes. Before he's joined, we'll go ahead and, of course, reveal the best for today, and, of course, we'll go ahead and knock out rapid fire before Matt joins us as well. So let's see what everybody's up to this morning. Good morning, Brian and Kyle and Corey. What's going on, guys? The Cubs game... well, the difference was the time of the day. You can't keep Atlanta in Chicago all day. They've got to get out of town and go wherever the hell they go next. That's just a product of them playing at night. At nighttime, the weather the snow tailed off right at around here locally, right around 6, which I think first pitch was around then. So now the soft Southsiders, we know that is very much in play on Monday because again our Braves run line, which that's all I want to say because I don't want to bring up much pain about that Braves run line. Yeah, Southsiders are a little bit of a wussies. Up on the north side, they got no problem playing in the rain. Yeah, that still pisses me off to say the least. What's up, Tim? What's going on, man? Good call for Adrian yesterday. 2 days in a row, my man's on fire. What was his bet yesterday? I don't even recall what he gave out there in the Prim. What did he give out? Don't remember. Obviously, 2 days ago was that Club America. I can't remember what he gave out yesterday. Let's all pause for a moment. If you see Fish down in that comment section, don't forget to wish Fish a happy birthday. Hope you're doing well, man. Happy birthday to you, and hopefully you get treated right by your family and friends today. So happy birthday, Fish. See if we can't cook up a little parlay for you today. All right, let's go ahead and toss some bets up here on the screen. We're, of course, going to just roll. There's 2 games today in the Premier League. I'm going to go ahead and do that Liverpool first half team total over 1.5 goals plus money. Best price right now is minus 106 over at FanDuel. Minus 106 over at FanDuel has got your best price. So obviously we're sitting pretty right here on a good plus money bet at plus 112. The other game, Chelsea versus United. I'm sure I'll end up saying it again here when Matt joins us, but this United team, it's too damn unpredictable. Like, what are you going to get from them from game in? Like, they can have that game against Liverpool, and then whether it's the home game against Fulham, the away game against Brentford, they have a dog shit performance right around the corner going to come around. They're not consistent enough. So maybe they turn up against Chelsea or lay another egg like, they kind of do. But, the heart of their defense is Varane and Martinez. Martinez has obviously been ruled out, might even miss the rest of the season. Varane, you heard him the other day complaining about head injuries. He got subbed off last game at halftime. Like, I don't really think you could even expect that guy to be trotted out every 3-4 days for 90 minutes. So he's tough to be counted on. I like Chelsea. I said it, Monday when we previewed these games. I like Chelsea. I think it is probably a both teams to score in over 2.5, but on Monday, when we did the preview, that was, minus 200 or minus 190. So, much like, West Ham Spurs, when it was minus 200, like, you can't play it. And, got a little bit of a gift not playing in that game as that one finishes 1-1. This one feels like it's got goals. If you're interested in backing it, yeah, I would take Chelsea at home. I think if I recall, Matt's angle was corners, if I'm recalling correctly. He liked their team total over 4.5 corners. The stats are kind of like bang on. So I'm sure they're offering you juice, and the amount of juice they're probably offering you doesn't probably fall in line with what the stats say in terms of, how sweaty that bet's, likely going to be. So, yeah, give me Chelsea on the money line. Give me a both team to score in over 2.5 if you want to go ahead and bet it. But I'm fine just sitting back. What are we, 1-2 this week? Or where? We are, actually, we're 0-3. Are we 0-3 in soccer? Yeah, we missed Roma. We missed City under, and we missed Paquet. We're 0-3 actually this week in soccer. So hopefully we can pick up a win today, get that sport going ahead and get turned around. Got a beauty today. You heard Guardiola in the press conference yesterday. All these managers are being asked about goal differential because the points are so tight. It seems like every conference, these damn reporters ask the same questions over and over, which get a little bit of a chuckle out of. But yeah, Guardiola again was asked yesterday. They gotta, you gotta put the foot to the gas pedal and just keep scoring goals because that could be a real decider in who's going to go ahead and win this title. So expect Liverpool to get the job done here at home and make it so they can rotate there in the second half and really get ready for United on Sunday. So that's how I'll roll in the Premier League. I do not have a baseball bet. I'll tell you why I don't have a baseball bet as we go ahead and run through rapid fire. So let's jump into it. Tigers are taking on the Mets. Of course, this is going to now be a double header. I still like the Tigers. You can get it at plus 120 on DraftKings. I'm showing right now. Mets minus 142, over under of 7.5. If you want to know how I really feel about this game, I do got a unit on Tigers money line. I even got a unit on Casey Mize over 3.5 strikeouts, and I've got another unit on Casey Mize over 14.5 outs. But the reason why those will remain personal bets and not official plays is because of the doubleheader. You see it in these doubleheaders. Teams either, wave the white flag in game one if it's not going their way and save the bullpen, or they'll, empty the chamber in game one and say, we got a chance to win this game. Let's go win it, and we'll just, see how game two unfolds. Always too much unpredictability in doubleheaders, but I do have 3 units in play. Personally, if you want to tail, cool, come along. But I like the Tigers in this spot, at least in game one, because you get that same pitching matchup that you had yesterday. Pitching matchup at game 2 is to be determined for the Mets, and Tigers are Matt Manning. They're plus 110. Tigers, Mets are minus 130, again with an over-under of 7.5. Yeah, Tigers are the better team. There's a reason why they're undefeated. Last team in Major League Baseball to pick up a loss, but doubleheaders just got me off of that game enough. Pirates and the Nationals are going to end their series today with an over-under of 8.5. Pirates come into this one minus 120. Nationals come in at even money. Over just missed yesterday. Would certainly like the over today. The reason I'm not pulling the trigger on the Pirates is you look at the Nationals and it's like, wow, hitting 171 versus left-handers. I think their weighted runs created was like 51, if I'm recalling correctly, which if that's a new stat to you, league average is 100, so 51 is obviously way off the mark on that one. But we know from Nationals, you like them versus left-handers. Like, that was a thing last year. So, but they only have 38 plate appearances. So is that piss-poor average and piss-poor slugging and weighted runs created just a product of, just low batting appearances? It's not a number that I'm willing to trust because we know that they're generally a good left-handed hitting team. So just got me off of that game completely. Otherwise, I like the Pirates. Better team. Their bullpen, high-leverage guys weren't used yesterday as opposed to, Finnegan being thrown yesterday in a closing situation for the Nationals. I like the Pirates in that game at minus 120. Guardians and Twins with an over-under of 7.5. Guardians plus 130. Twins come into this one at minus 155. Twins do pick up a good win yesterday, really battling back there against the Brewers. I like that Guardians bullpen. The Twins bullpen would suggest, though, that this game could stay under the 7.5 mark. Certainly with Lopez, that would help you in an under situation. I'll go ahead and take the under 7.5, but I would back the Guardians at plus 130. Marlins and Cardinals over-under of 8.5. Marlins plus 130. Cardinals minus 155. Lance Lynn looking to bounce back off of that outing against the Dodgers, and I do trust him to bounce back against this Marlins team. Winless team is this Marlins team, getting swept by the Pirates and the Angels. I think their struggles continue. Lance Lynn will be decent enough to get the win, and obviously the Cardinals' bats are going to be better than the Marlins here, so minus 155 is in play for me. White Sox and Royals over-under of 8. White Sox plus 145. Royals minus 175. A really tricky over-under to predict with the White Sox offensive struggles, bullpens that are certainly struggling, so you would kind of like an over in that one. I would just back the Royals at minus 175. Give me the better team. Lugo and Soraka, neither pitcher is going to move the needle really. So just hope that the Royals bats can be better than the White Sox. They've got by far better bats in that lineup. So I'll go ahead and take the Royals. While we go ahead and wait, Matt hasn't called in yet. There's Fish. Happy birthday, man. Happy birthday, Fish. While we go ahead and wait on Matt, this gives me an opportunity just to remind everybody, we've already given out all of these bets. That's, of course, why you don't see where I bought them at. But now's just the time to go ahead and just remind you that that's what we're going to go ahead and be on next week in the Champions League. I will all but certain be on the under 2.5 night Atletico versus Dortmund by the time we are sitting here next week talking some bets. They did away with the away rule there in the Champions League, and that just means basically like, let's just keep first leg nip and tuck, and then we'll go ahead and get back home, for the second leg at home. And I think that's what Dortmund's going to do. They've got the home ground advantage. Atletico's got a good home ground, but Dortmund's got a real big, massive home advantage. So I think they'll just keep that one nip and tuck, keep it nice and low scoring, and then see what they can do a week later at home. So I like the under 2.5 in that game, but, maybe hoping the price will get a little bit better for me on that one. And I don't think there's a big rush. I don't think people are going to be gravitating towards an under in that game, so I'll hold off on that one. But I like Arsenal on the team total over 1.5. Hell, I like Arsenal on the clean sheet. We'll talk about that one a little bit later on. And, of course, the other games, you talk about them being unders, but I actually do like the overs there in those two games in PSG, Barcelona, Madrid, and City. If I had to take a guess, Matt will probably be joining me on Monday for a Champions League preview show, so we can talk about these four games in more detail next week. But while we were just kind of waiting on Matt, I thought I would just throw those up on the screen and just give everybody a little bit of refresher there. So here we go. Matt is here. Let's talk 10 games in the Premier League. How's it going there, Matt?
Are we going to do a total eclipse show on Monday? Is that what you're suggesting?
Yeah, I think we are. I think that's, what is that, around like 4:30-ish, or at least here in the Illinois area. Is it rolling through Indiana?
Yeah, it's going through, I think around 3:30, So, if we did it, around this time, I think it would be fine.
Yeah, I think it'll be fine. And have big games next week. I don't know if have you bet any of those games yet, personally?
I've bet Arsenal to qualify. That's a 2-unit play for me.
Like it.
I mean, how can you not like them?
Yeah, right.
Their defense is so good. That's what you need in a 2-leg, aggregate. I think that they're a much better team than Bayern right now.
The only thing
But
you could back in Bayern is who loves a goal in the North London derby. Sir Harry Kane. Back Harry
yeah,
Kane. Maybe you wait till he's in Germany, but that's the only production you're going to get out of that team is through Harry. He loves the goal against Arsenal.
for sure,
But no, I
for
still
sure.
take him on
So
the
yeah,
clean sheet.
yeah, I like Arsenal a lot in that tie.
All right, Matt. I know you said you tailed my Liverpool first half team total. Just want to ask though, did you get in a bet for Chelsea United, or just going to sit back and watch it?
I'm still debating on the corners angle. I guess I'm looking at the corners angle over. I think it was 5.5 corners for Chelsea at like minus 140. I think that looks more than fair. Um, but I have not bet it yet. The only thing I have locked in is the team total at plus 112. I woke up and saw that one is like minus 112. So good play by you. Way to beat the market on that one. Yeah, trying to look at other angles in that game, but it's hard, with being minus 1,000 and
Right.
stuff like that. Like I think I was looking this morning. I think a good parlay piece, so you can get it to minus 300. So then find something else that you like to pair with it would be, Mo Salah to score or assist in Liverpool to win the match. You can get that at minus 300. I think that if you can find another, minus 200 shot to get a plus 100 or something like that, then that makes total sense to me.
Chelsea on the double chance. I don't know what that is price wise, but
Yeah, no,
like
I
it.
think that's yeah. That would probably be pretty fair.
All right, cool. Well, let's get this show over with so we can sit back and enjoy these games here in the afternoon here. Let's just take them on in order like we always do, Matt. The first one here is where we got here. We got Crystal Palace taking on Man City. I look at this matchup here, Matt, and first from a stats perspective, we've talked about how City is really good defensively. You've got Crystal Palace, their team ranked 16th in XG created, and you've got Man City's second best defense in the league. I'm seeing a Man City win to nil, but I think because they do give up a goal. I mean, right, Villa did get a goal, and you saw that their left side of their defense yesterday can be exposed a little bit without Kyle Walker. That play, if it's not on the left side, and let's say it's on Guardiola, that play is going to be sniffed out. But because they're playing Rico Lewis extremely out of position, he's a midfielder, subbing in there at right back. I don't want to take a chance in terms of like a unit play on a win to nil, even though I think it happens. What I want to take a chance is on Erling Haaland. I was able to correctly predict that they were going to go ahead and sit De Bruyne yesterday. I got a real nice surprise that they sat Haaland as well. And I think, I'm not going to say they sat him, but if you look at the top five teams, he's only got one goal this season against teams in the top five. We talk about how, those are obviously, those teams generally have better center backs, and they're just sniffing out Holland in these, big games. Well, here's the team against Palace. He was fully arrested, minus 145 to go ahead and bag a goal here on the road. You can get him at plus 320 to get multiple goals. If you want to sprinkle that, I'm fine with that as well. But I think Holland to get a goal up against bottom feeders, awful Crystal Palace. I think that's the angle that I want to get in on is Holland warming up the boots here. You heard Roy Keane talking some shit against him, coming off the Arsenal game. Yeah, give me Holland minus 145 over on BetMGM or FanDuel to bag a goal.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was clearly rested, because they have so much to prepare for. Like Guardiola came out in the comments. They have two matches sandwiched in between Real Madrid, and Real Madrid are just sitting there right now on a 9-10 day rest for the tie. So he's giving KDB a rest, giving Holland a rest. And, it really sucked for the unders really in that game because then, you get Emi Martinez, an illness 30 minutes prior to. Villa kind of just throw up the white flag in the game entirely with their lineup decisions. And so that was tough. That was absolutely tough. This is a tough match to bet. You know that Palace always do kind of get up here at home at Selhurst against Man City. They've played them tough many times over the years. And so there's one player here that I'm looking at really in this game, and it is Eze. I'm trying to find his prop. Here we go. It's going to be Eze for me to have a shot on target in the game over a half shot on target at plus 110. I think that they're going to find some space on the counter attack. I think he's a brilliant shooter from outside the box. And I think that this play, I think that he's going to have some chances here. I think he's going to shoot. I think he's going to shoot the ball a couple times. I think that his shot creation, shot ability is normally on target. And if you can give me over a half on Eze here, who I think is a real player, I think it's a bet plus 110 on a shot with a shot on target.
Good. Well, hopefully he can find the back of the net, so that'll keep pushing Holland, who he's obviously going to be on pen duty, and that'll increase his chances of hopefully getting multiple goals in that one. Because I did sprinkle, obviously, the plus 320
My
for
one,
multiple goals.
I do have a concern though with the Holland one, just because I mean, how much time is he going to play? They've got Real Madrid one eye. They're going to Madrid. It's not like they're going to get to sit back at Man City and have the first leg at home. Like, I think that Holland might only get 60 to 70 minutes. So that's always tough when you're betting a multi-goal scoring route.
Yeah. That's why that won't make the card, but him to get a goal will make the card. But yeah,
Yeah.
I hear you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's always a concern. So Real Madrid doesn't play this weekend? They even have this weekend off?
No. And that's the same thing with the Atleti. I'm happy about it with the Atleti thing. Like, I think that the first leg is Atleti at home against Dortmund. I really like Atleti in the first leg. Obviously, I have Atleti to go through and win the whole thing. And that's another bet that I do like in the Champions League is Atletico Madrid to progress in the tie. You better like them at minus 125 than to win at home if you like them to progress. So I think that's a bet as well.
Yeah, that's that same angle we did against Roma and Brighton, right? We liked Roma to advance. Well, you're probably going to then take them at home on the money line at whatever the hell we got, plus 120 or something. And they obviously smashed Brighton pretty easily and got through that first leg on that one. Okay. All right, Matt. I think, at least from my perspective, this is a tough card, and it starts to get really tough here, even with this next matchup. Aston Villa is taking on Brentford. What do you like in this one?
Yeah, this is the second bet of the card. This is one of my favorites, really, and it's something that we've talked about for weeks now as a team that I want to get on. I was on the draw no bet angle yesterday, and they had a couple chances laid on. They were the less likely team against Brighton probably for the first 70 minutes or so. Brighton kind of outplayed them, but in the last 15, 20, with some of the substitutions that they're able to make now, with some of the depth at forward lines, Brentford were the most likely team to win that game late on. A couple nice blocks by some of the center halves from Brighton, but I mean, you're gonna get to play Villa with no Ollie Watkins. They've had some other injuries in the midfield that have kind of derailed this team a little bit, making players kind of play out of positions that they like to. And I've said it now for a few weeks. I think that Brentford are the team that we want to be backing late on, even though they have not won one game in their last 8 matches. So give me Brentford here, +1 at minus 140 in this match. I like Brentford. I don't think that they get beat by a margin in this one. I think that they've been competitive. I think that their performances have been very solid over the last, let's say, 3 to 5 matches. The results haven't gone their way, but the performances have been there. And I'm going to back them here at +1 on the Asian handicap.
Interesting. I like Phil in this spot. And I look at just what he did yesterday with the lineup, and you talked about, we were kind of, once the lineups came out, maybe like, but from a Villa perspective, he didn't play Leon Bailey for whatever goddamn reason. Tillemans didn't get a run. Pau Torres didn't go ahead and get a run in terms of starting in that game. I like Villa here on the bounce back. I guess I disagree with you right there. I'm still not willing to back a Brentford team, and they're definitely not willing to back them on the road where they have 4 consecutive losses, with one of those losses coming against Burnley, and that's their most recent one. So I don't know if they've fully turned the corner, at least in terms of a results business on the road. And because this game's on the road at Villa Park, I still like Villa to come out here. This one's going to be played on Saturday, where they don't play next against Thursday in Europe. Plenty of time to recover for the Europa Conference League. I'm going to go ahead and back Villa in this spot. Think this is a nice bounce back spot here. I think if you want to go for more of the big price, you can maybe do the Villa money line and both teams to score, because Brentford's creating. It's just not coming from a results perspective, and that's what's got me a little nervous here. Do they lose by a margin to cover your +1? You're probably looking at a push. That's how much I like Villa to get the win. But yeah, I think the money line and both teams to score is probably a decent enough play where I think you can probably get a push out of that. But what is Villa on the money line? I didn't even
Anywhere from like minus 150 at most places.
Yeah, I like them here at this spot. I think they can go ahead and pick up the win. They're going to play a much stronger lineup than whatever the hell Unai Emery decided to do yesterday. So a little bit of a confusing one right there. All right, let's go over to Goodison Park now. Everton's taking on Burnley, which, Sean Dice, got to get it done here, buddy, up against Burnley. Team that obviously you know well, need to go ahead and get the 3 points. But then when I go and we talked about Palace and their, XG and all that created, there's Everton just coming on down the table and their XG numbers. So not a team I trust. Burnley, I don't really trust anything about them. Great, they get a couple goals against Chelsea at 10 men, but, don't really care less. Their numbers are suggesting that they obviously got really lucky in that game. I mean, their XG numbers on the road are less than a goal a game. They're barely creating when they're away from the turf more. So probably an under 2.5. And I don't know if I'm betting the under 2.5s in this league, but this one smells like an under to me.
Yeah, this is a tough match, obviously. I mean, Everton did well to scrap away a point at Newcastle. Dominic Calvert-Lewin finally gets on the score sheet after like 20 plus games, and the penalty barely goes in. So there's just no way I'm laying minus 150 on Everton here. There's just no way. I think that if you want to bet this game, my lean is Burnley +1 because I don't see Everton beating anybody by a margin. So I think it's pretty safe. Burnley have kind of come on a little bit of recent. They're putting together some better performances and some better results. But yeah, this is most likely just a pass. I'd like to see some lineups though in this one. Like, I wonder if Everton try to roll out 2 strikers with like Lewin and Beto, just to try to get that offense humming because man, that offense is really freaking brutal. It sucks to be frank. I mean, it really sucks. The Everton, they don't score goals in the first half of games. They're just slow starters, and so yeah, it's a pass. But if you made me bet it, I would bet Burnley +1 as a road dog to not get beat by a margin.
Like it. Okay. I want him. I like Sean Dice in the Premier League, so let's get some points here, Sean Dice. Keep picking them up. All right, Matt. Battle of trends here in this next game between Fulham and Newcastle. We've talked about the home and away splits. You've got a Fulham team that is 13th in the Premier League, but they would be 7 on home table. You've got a Newcastle team that's 8th in the table, but they would be 14th on away table. So we've talked about these two teams are probably 2 of the biggest outside of Brighton with their home and away split. So are you just going to go with the splits here and back a Fulham side that's like, okay, I'll take them at home. This is where they're better. Newcastle struggle on the road. Or are we just going to go ahead and say, you know what, I'm going to remove who's going to win and just take goals. Give me a little both teams to score an over 2.5 in this fixture. You got a Marco Silva boss here that struggles against a Newcastle side. He's only got 1 draw and 5 losses in his last 6 games against Newcastle. So that's a little bit of a concern. That to me speaks about the quality in the squad of Newcastle. And obviously it's ravished with injuries. But I think I'm going to stay away from a winner on this one and just do the both teams to score an over 2.5.
Yeah, this is a tough match. Do you trust Fulham at home because they've been brilliant, but they've been so poor on the road? Like I watched their whole performance at the weekend. I mean, they didn't create much. They just
nothing against
they
Forest.
didn't do anything, nothing. So the good thing is they did cash my both teams to score bet, and so they were able to at least get something on the score sheet in the second half when they were down 3-0. Marco Silva obviously very disappointed in his roster, pulling 3 members of it at the 30-minute mark.
Mm-hmm.
Bringing on Willian, bringing on Traore, because they just didn't do anything in that game, and they look so poor. So I think that Newcastle are a fade side though as well. So if you made me bet this one, this is one I'm going to say that I think this is a lineup check just to kind of check all of your boxes off. I think that you'll notice when the lineups do come out that there will be an edge towards Fulham. So if you made me bet it, I think that you're going to want to be on Fulham draw no bet in this game. But their recent performances make me just kind of pause and pass for now.
That draw no bet maybe. I'm assuming. Let's see the odds here. So they're slight favorites. They're really, the books are telling you it's kind of a toss up, um,
Hmm.
which yeah, I kind of hear you right there. Boy, Matt, while you were talking, I went back and looked at Palace because I do really like City to win the nil. Their XG in that game was 0.1. They only had 2 shots on target against Bournemouth. I don't know. Man City win the nil might be a freaking hammer play. Anyways, let's keep
Yeah.
it on rolling
Uh,
here. They're gonna struggle. All right, Matt. Luton. We already know what you're gonna say on this game. Luton at home. The bet that Matt's gonna go ahead and give you folks: cash in the reverse fixture, cash the previous 2 times before that when they played down the championship together. You know what Matt's bet is, and I'm gonna go ahead and tail him this week because it's at Luton. They didn't do a damn thing against Arsenal, but that was the tactics that they set up. They went into it with like, we'll just I don't understand Rob Thomas saying we'll just hope and pray that this game will end 0-0 because that was never going to happen. But that was the tactics perspective is let's just play this thing 0-0 at home here against Bournemouth, a 4-3 game in the reverse fixture. Matt's play, I'll let him talk about it because he's the one that cooked up this extremely incredible gem. I'm on it. It's minus 128 at FanDuel for the best price.
yep. Yep. It's both teams to score in this one, and Luton getting a goal and a half basically on the Asian handicap. So to keep this one tight, close, and yeah, we're just going right back to what's been cashing for us. No shame in Luton. The both teams to score streak and their scoring run snapped, and we called it, Jason. We correctly laid off of it. A major trend. It was so hard for me to lay off of it, but it's just like this Arsenal defense is so solid. So yeah, of course he's going to try to get a 0-0 on the road at the Emirates. I mean, but they also tried to come out, and I think they tried to play in the first 30 minutes and give Arsenal a little scare, and they just really have no fear of this Luton team. I mean, there is no shame in losing 2-0 on the road to Arsenal at all.
That's a great
So we're just going
result.
to go right back. Yeah, it's not even a bad result at all. They played well. Um, and yeah, we're just going to go right back to it. I mean, that's the best. They played the best defense in all of Europe. Really, Arsenal is the number one defense right now in Europe, in my opinion. Um, so yeah, we're just going to go right back to it. This is both teams to score. I trust in Bournemouth, trust in Luton at home, and I trust in Luton to be able to keep this one close. So minus 128 is more than fair for me. It's something that's been cashing. I don't know. The last probably 7 times that we've bet it. So it's pretty good.
And no surprise, the 2 times you laid off against Arsenal and Liverpool. Otherwise, if it's not against the elite teams in the league, you go ahead and hammer this play because they've been absolutely competitive against the non-elite teams in the league. So it's just a great angle. I mean, an absolute gem that you cooked up. So I'm on it this week. And again, best price, it's minus 128 over at FanDuel. All right, let's go ahead over to the Molyneux now where the Wolves are going to go ahead and take on West Ham. And you've got this West Ham side where continue to watch their games, watched it midweek against Spurs. Their absolute best attack is on the counter. Like when they're in just kind of build up play, they just don't have enough playmakers. I mean, they got the wingers and they got Paqueta and Kudus, but they want to hit you. Absolutely, they want to hit you on the counter. They want you to have the ball and they want to come at you running at them. I look at this one, Matt. In the last 5 head-to-heads, have seen both teams to score no. Last 5 head-to-head. That's the angle I want. They're going to go ahead and give me a plus money. I'm going to expect one of these two managers to set it up right, hold on for once they get that goal, and sniff out. I think Wolves are more than good enough to go ahead and sniff out things on the counterattack. So I like both teams to score no at the plus money price.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. We definitely want Cunha in the lineup if you're looking at Wolves here. I think that he's going to be back. Um, Gosh, this is a tough match. I really want to back West Ham draw no bet because I think that they're the stronger side. But it's just right now, it's looking like a really tough match for me to bet. That was disappointing during the midweek. Paqueta just playing such a deep lying midfield role where he's not even in and around it. He's not even sniffing it.
Yeah, first
Um,
half I was like, oh no, we're in trouble. We're in trouble. He
yeah,
wasn't.
and it was,
His touches were nowhere near the box.
I know he's 6-1 to score in this match, which is just not a good sign really for him. Uh, God, that front line though of West Ham is so superior to Wolves in this one. So also, I mean, you do look at. I understand the head-to-head angle here. I mean, over 2.5 goals is kind of short. Like, I mean, it's a Premier League match. These matches have been going over 2.5, so that'd be a tough one to hold on to. I think of both teams to score no in this game. Um, so right now it's just a pass. I think that West Ham's lineup is going to be superior when they drop, but this is just it's just another pass one. This is a kind of a tough card, I think.
Really tough card. I would agree. Getting a good plus money price though, and it's hitting 50% of Wolves' last 6 matches. So the stats kind of say if you want to take a stab at a good plus money, I think you can go ahead and do it. The Wolves have been 50% of their matches lately. Have been seeing both teams to score no. All right, what's the next fixture here we got here? We got Brighton taking on Arsenal. All right, how do we bet this one? Brighton at home, better splits. This one smells like probably an Arsenal win with both teams to score. If I had to think about it. Do we have any injury concerns? I didn't catch their match against Brentford. I was watching Arsenal's first half, and then I flipped it over to catch City bury my under 3.5. So I didn't catch any of Brentford taking on Brighton taking on Brentford. What they came through that as long as they came through the game unscathed. I think they do get a goal at home, but yeah, I would take Arsenal money line and both teams to score.
So I've watched the last two Brighton matches, and I think I've got an angle for this game.
Nice.
It would be against kind of what you're talking about a little bit. I think that this is an unders match. This is under 3 goals at -120 to -125. One, you get the best defense in Europe. Check. Two, Brighton just are not creating. They scored against Liverpool in the opening seconds of that game, but they didn't sniff it again. And really, yes, they created like I think over one expected goal against Brentford, but I don't think that they had really a whole lot clear cut in that game. I really think that that was like a skewed XG kind of number, in my opinion. And um, I just don't trust Brentford or Brighton here to score at all. Like I'm looking at a player that I kind of backed yesterday was Adingra, one shot on target, and I luckily got home with it. But I also laddered it, so it just kind of ended up being a wash because I really like the player. And but man, they play him so far out wide. He's over on the touchline. He has no shot to really get in. And like I would be looking towards a Dingra shot on target unders. No, he's not sniffing it. He's not even around it. Because I was focused, I was watching him the entire game. When you have a player prop and you're really like looking at the guy that you're betting, and seeing what kind of action they're having in that game. And he had nothing. It was off of a corner in the 46th minute. It was the last kick of the first half. The corner bounces out to him, and he kicks it at the goal. And I luckily was able to basically get a wash out of that. Also, I think that Brighton's defense looks good. You look at what Liverpool kind of created. Not a whole lot. They were very fortunate with the Luis Diaz equalizer, kind of a fluky incident to get the equalizer in the first half. And yes, they did carve them up for the second goal, but they didn't have much more than that. So they carved them one time, really, in the game, is what I'm kind of getting at. They split them open once. Then you look at Brentford, who have got all of their front line back, and Tony and Maupay and Wisa and who's the other guy I'm blanking on? Anyways,
I'm looking at stats.
The guy that's come back after so long for them.
Tony.
Um,
You're talking
not
about
Tony.
Brighton. No, we're talking about Brighton.
No, we're talking about Brentford.
Fatsu?
No,
Who are we talking about?
it is Embuemo for Brentford. Embuemo for Brentford. So I'm just saying that like Brentford have all of their attacking line back, and they didn't sniff much at all either against this Brighton team. This is a stone cold under 3 goals. I think this game is tight. I think it's going to be a little nervy for Arsenal. I don't think this is going to be a breeze by victory. I think that they will get there. But I think it's going to be tight. I think that Brighton are coming in like not good form, but in good defensive form. I think they're coming in good defensive form, not good offensive form. So give me the under 3 goals at -120 to -125. I would shop around. You might be able to find a -15. That's where I'm looking here. I think that this is a stone cold underplay. I think that, if it lands on 3, get your money back. That's fair. I think this is an under. I like the under 2.5 in this one. So if you're going to give me a flat 3, I like it.
All right, and if you want to, Matt was earlier mentioned a parlay piece. You can get that 3.5 at -180 if you want to use it as a parlay and maybe possibly avoid the push. Matt, I'm looking at these stats, and again, I was watching the Arsenal and City games yesterday. Brighton had 24 shots to Brentford's 5. There were 6 shots on goal for Brighton. Brentford only had 2. And again, I don't disagree with any of your analysis. You watched the game, but you're saying Brentford was. I mean, these stats suggest Brighton was all over it. Their XG
No.
numbers
I
were way
said for the
better.
first, I said for the first 70 minutes of the match, it was clearly a Brighton were in the ascendancy to win the match. But in the last 10 to 15, when they made the switch with Embuemo, actually Brentford ended up being the most likely. In the 90th minute, they had a really good chance to win the match late on. So yeah, I was overall happy to get my money back on the Brentford draw no bet. But again, that kind of shows you. I mean, look at what. Here's a good example, Jason. Is look how much Brentford sliced open Manchester United last weekend,
God,
but they didn't get a sniff. They didn't get a sniff against Brighton. Not a sniff until the 90th minute. So, and then also you look at Arsenal, maybe without Saka, one eye on the Champions League match against Bayern Munich. This is a tough match for Arsenal. This is a low scoring, nervy game. I think that Arsenal end up winning this game 1-0, 2-0, maybe even a 0-0 where Brighton keep it tight, 1-1. Those are the results that I see in this one. I don't see this being like a 3-1 crazy old Brighton game of earlier in the season. Like Brighton have kind of, since the new year has turned, they've lost players, they've had injuries, no Matoma. They don't have the chance creation like they once did. This is an underplay.
all right, cool. Like it right there. Let's go over to Old Trafford now, where we get a rematch there. That's classic, absolutely classic FA Cup game where Liverpool was obviously dumped out of that competition by Man United. Well, let's run it back now in the Premier League. I think this one sets up for a good little Liverpool advantage. Both teams in action today. Liverpool is going to get past Sheffield pretty easily, and you're going to see their rotation late in that game reflect how they're going to get ready for Sunday. Where Man United, they gotta look really good against Chelsea, and I think it's going to require a full 90-minute effort, and their key players are going to be playing that full 90 minutes. So a little bit of advantage here. I certainly is going to go to Liverpool. I even like Liverpool in this game, without that kind of advantage, just because you got a little bit of a revenge factor there. I'm also looking at that game and saying Man United got a little bit lucky with that FA Cup game, to be quite honest, with some of the late goals. And I thought Liverpool, once they weather that storm in like that first 20 minutes, they got those 2 goals to correctly, in my mind, be a lead at halftime. Maybe they could have even gotten a couple more. They didn't punish Man United in that second half to get a margin. They kind of let Man United hang around. So I don't think Liverpool makes the same mistakes. I like the Liverpool money line. I think they absolutely going to go ahead and get it done. It's just, do you want to just do it straight up on the money line because it's not too terrible of a price, or are you going to try and get cute and try and predict the Man United to score and then you can drive it down? I would just do Man United on the Liverpool, not try and get too cute with this one. Give it to me at -135 over on Bet Rivers.
Yeah, this price has moved a little bit. I've been watching it over the week. I know that Liverpool opened up around -120. This is one that I would recommend to all the viewers to go grab now, just because you could see a seismic move in the market with how Liverpool looked today. And if United look poor, let's say United come out and Chelsea do kind of dominate in that match, this is going to be -150, -160. So I would grab the 35 now. You can get this one down, though. I mean, you could get Liverpool and under 5.5 goals at about -105 in this game. I mean, you really think that there's going to be 6 goals in this one? I think that United are going to be sitting back and trying to play defense like in the reverse fixture at Anfield in a 0-0 disappointing match overall for Liverpool. Or could you see the fun FA Cup match that there was? But that is getting a little cute. The fact is I like Liverpool in this game. I really do. I think that they're going to take care of business. This is a tough place to go do it, but I think that they're going to have some players coming back in. I think that they're going to rest Endo, for example, today against Sheffield to have him ready for the weekend to solidify that number 6 to then push McAllister back into his preferred position as an 8. And yeah, I think that Liverpool win this match. So I think that grabbing the minus 135 would be smart to do it now, personally.
You know what? I'm actually not giving out Liverpool money line, and maybe it's a little homeboy in me, but I'm actually expecting a good United performance today because if you look at their season, they can't string together consistent performances, whether that's bad or good. It seems to flip flop. So an awful one against Brentford, allowing 30 some odd shots. Awful performance against Brentford. I think they turn up here at Chelsea. I'm waiting for that minus 135 to come a lot better when United has a good performance. So I'm not giving out it. I'm gonna hope that United can play good today, and hoping that. And if I get burned, maybe I lay off altogether if it gets out of whack. But yeah, and I'm actually scared. I think Liverpool could have a chance to maybe run it up here. I thought they could have gotten more goals and not even forced extra time in that one. No Martinez, no Varane. He's injured. I think they got a chance to absolutely kind of batter them, and it shouldn't be 6 goals in this game, but I don't want to be holding on to that. I think this is a good old Liverpool smash spot here up against Man United, but I'm going to hold out, see if United can't be competitive today against Chelsea, and I can't see if I can't get just a straight up better price on that money line. So that's
I'll tell you another one.
I also don't think Ten Hag sits back. You know what Ten Hag made the mistake the other day in his press conference? He called out Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Did you hear him? And say, don't interrupt in our progress. Oh, you're already on the hot seat by every damn pundit and journalist out there. Now you want to talk shit to the new owner? You better not sit back at home. You better give it another full-on go. So I think it's a full-on go. There's going to be gaps in that defense, and they're going to get crushed.
I think it's an absolute crock, though, that he is on the hot seat. I think that he's doing fine.
Great.
I really do. I think that if you let go of Ten Hag, it would be a monumental mistake. He just doesn't, some of the players really aren't good enough right now. I know that he's had time to, he's made a couple mistakes in some of the players he's bought, but still, I think that Ten Hag
shows he can develop players. Like he took 2 dudes who weren't going to be even players this year, and you can't take either one of them out of the starting 11. He was full on developed them. One of them is obviously on the England national team now. He's gotten them to rise so fast, so quick. So, yeah, massive mistake if they get rid of him.
Also, another bet in this one is Mo Salah to score or assist, minus 160 in this one. You can pair that with a Liverpool money line to get plus 125. I mean, that looks pretty strong.
Ooh.
So, I mean, Mo's going to be the one. I mean, he's done United in a few times. He's in form right now. So look towards Mo. In Mo, I trust.
Well, that may be, if the price gets out of whack, that's how I'll get right back into it, is do that parlay. If the price kind of gets wonky and they have a bad one. All right, Sheffield at home today or this weekend up against Chelsea. Chelsea, another one of these teams, are a little bit inconsistent, but I don't know what to make of this one. I mean, Chelsea's obviously got the better squad. If they handle Man United, or not handle them, but if they can get the result that I expected them to get against Man United, sure, they should get past Sheffield, but I don't. Probably not betting this one, and they don't have much to say about it. It's the better team, but Pochettino doesn't seem to be able to motivate them and get the best performance week in, week out.
Well, I'm sure we'll DM each other something about this game because I'm going to be watching. I'm going to have the dual screens up, watching Liverpool versus Sheffield and seeing how Chelsea look against United. As of right now, you would want to be like pro Cole Palmer in the match. He is one of the best players in the league. Clearly, he is something special. Cole Palmer to score or assist is minus 155 in this one against Sheffield United. So you can get plus 100 on a Cole Palmer and Chelsea. That's where I would be looking. I'd be looking towards Jackson, Palmer, probably pro Chelsea. But we'll kind of wait and see. But yeah, I mean, another one, kind of in Mo, I trust. In Cole Palmer right now, I trust. The boy is in form. He is playing some serious football right now. So I'll be looking towards Cole Palmer.
Yeah, that is a good way to get in. All right, then the last game here, headed off to White Hart Lane. Little Nuno revenge spot here, possibly bringing Forrest on into town here. Probably like goals. Maybe I'm a little upset because of the goals didn't quite come in the West Ham fixture, but yeah, I like Tottenham here at home. Probably getting. Let me just get a glance here at the stats. Probably would like yeah. I mean, both teams to score is hitting 67 of each of their last matches. Forest, though, is unable to get up over the 2.5 at only 33% of the time. Spurs just missed last time out. Otherwise, they've gotten over 83% of the time. Forest XG on the road, how bad is it? Yeah, 14th in the league. That probably a both team to score over 2.5, but I'm probably not betting it either. Probably can't
I
do
think
it.
I've got Jim here.
Gem, music to my ears.
Morgan Gibbs White plus 165 to have a shot on target in this game. He's a player. I mean, he ran the show in that last match against Fulham. He was the best player on the pitch by a country mile. And you're going to get plus 165 on someone like Morgan Gibbs White to have a shot on target. I mean, that's crazy to me. I think that's a crazy price. Tottenham's defense, I mean, they give so much up too. There will be opportunities for Forest in this game, and they will be created by Morgan Gibbs White. So this is one I was looking at Twitter today too. Somebody was like, is Morgan Gibbs White a potential replacement in the England squad for James Maddison? I think that he is. I think that he's just the exact same type of player that James Maddison is. This kid is a freaking player. He has got an engine like no other. Morgan Gibbs White is one of the best players in the Premier League that is on one of these lower level teams, kind of. Plus 230 to score or assist. Ugh, that's you want to talk about how we had plus 200, for example, on someone like Paquetá, which was eventually a really bad price. I mean, even though he had three or four, this is getting plus 230 on Morgan Gibbs White, who someone is sniffing in and around the box area at all times, versus Paquetá, who's playing in a deeper lying midfield role. That is wrong. That's flat out wrong. So something pro Morgan Gibbs White here makes a lot of sense to me. The dude is a freaking player, Jason.
Yeah, I enjoyed watching. I caught that first half in that match the other night. I watched that on Twitter with everybody. I was on Twitter Live and watched that entire first half together. So, yeah, he was good.
Him to have two shots is minus 185. I don't know. He's just we need it to be on target, but man, oh man, he is going to be around it. I'll tell you, he will be around it.
All right, Matt. Other than your Luton bet that everybody knows that you're obviously on, what else are you going to add to your card?
Yeah, no. Liverpool to beat United. Eze to have a shot on target at plus 110. That one is going to be a tough watch, but I think that he will. He will have something on the counter where he shoots from long distance. That's what I believe. I believe he will have a shot, and I think they'll put it on target from long distance. Brentford plus 1 is a good bet for me this week. My Luton play, Luton both teams to score and plus 1.5, and
your Arsenal
that is
the under 3 or 3.5.
That's it. Arsenal. Yes, Arsenal Brighton under 3 goals. Arsenal Brighton under 3 goals is a bet that I'll be locking in, and just kind of being, kind of pro Salah, pro Cole Palmer, pro Morgan Gibbs White. Like those are players that you might want to have on your card at some way, shape, or form. Like even maybe like parlay look. Those kind of players to have shots on target, to score or assist. Those kind of markets, man. I'm telling you, those are some good markets for those guys. Those 3 guys are going to be in and around it.
Yeah. All right, sweet. And obviously, you guys can see I'm only going to roll at this moment with 2 bets, with hopefully getting a much better price on that Liverpool money line and obviously making that an official play as well. All right, Matt, appreciate the hang. Hopefully you were able to enjoy the games this weekend. Don't be too sad on Monday when we're hanging out and Man United does it to you again, my man. Ruined your title. We've done ruined the quad. Now we're going to ruin the title chance. It's all coming down.
No.
All right, we'll
Not
see you
this
on
time.
Monday. Let's preview this Champions League game. So enjoy your weekend, man. Thank you.
You too. Thanks, Jason.
See ya. All right, boys. We'll toss all these up here on the screen. Just get them all up on here. What the hell? There we go. Bang, bang. There we go. Get your screenshot. Let me see. Yeah, there we go. Get that there. Matt's got some. I like Matt's takes on those games. Interesting. Arsenal. It feels like Arsenal Brighton under. I hear him. Interesting. All right, we'll cook up some more plays. Yeah. All right, let's just hope Man United can be competitive. We can get that Liverpool price better because people are going to remember that FA Cup game. It's at Old Trafford again. I'm actually thinking that Liverpool line goes in our favor as opposed to Matt thinking it gets worse. So do what you want on that one. If you want to take a chance. If you feel like gambling, maybe you hang on a little bit like I do. I feel like gambling. I think we're going to get a better price. So, all right, boys, let's just get this Liverpool first half team total tucked in. Let's go 1-0 today. Let's ring that cash register tomorrow. And then, obviously, we've got to talk Friday's MLB slate with you guys and get in some bets on that. So enjoy the day, boys. We'll catch up with you tomorrow.